Hello friends, and welcome back to Enterprise Architecture. Now, we are diving into the second part of the two-parter episode from last time. I had recorded way too much footage once again, not kept track of time. It just took me way too much time to finish out the pure quest line here. So, no spoilers, but that's what we're doing today, the second half of that quest. So, with no further ado, take it away, previous me. But the next thing we're going to do instead is to make diamonds. Now, I'm realizing now that we didn't need the purified coal blocks for anything else but making diamond. So I think I'm going to tear out what we had built over here really quickly, optimize all of this for pure diamond production so that we're not even bothering to make the purified coal block and storing that in between. Well, we'll make it. We're just not going to store it as a temporary intermediate. We're just going to set up our purified water setup over here and then pull that directly in. So let's go ahead and tear this up and redo it real quick and optimize it. Alright, here's exactly the same setup. I've just moved things around and pulled it from that end to this end. So we still have all of our coal blocks coming in here. We have our flint coming in here. I did actually change my mind and start pulling the nickel dust directly off of where we're producing the nickel dust over there from our enrichment center. So that's just going straight in here. So we're getting glowstone now. And now we are ready to start adding to this. So I'm going to do a logistical sorter on the side of that container first of all, and then I'm going to put a single logistical transporter down, and then I'm going to put a solidifier. Now the reason why I'm adding these logistical sorters, although I've already mentioned I do not love them, is because I want to be able to control where things are going to go. So this is the easiest way to do that. And I'm a little worried that that's not connecting. I might have put this on backwards. We will figure this out. There we go. Flip it around and we're good to go. All right. So the logistical sorter will now pump into this pipe, which will then stick into the solidifier. Now the solidifier needs our purified water. So to that end, I'm going to put a mechanical pipe on the side here, maybe two of them. I had built a water purifier that's going to go here, and the water purifier is going to be fed by a series of our water collectors. I already had 4 left over from a previous setup that I had torn down, so those are going to go right on there and start producing our water for us. So we can then pull the water into here, just like so. That's going to go into the water collector. That is going to create purified water. That's going to mix eventually, hopefully, with our coal blocks, and once that's done, we will turn the coal into diamonds. Alright, this is going super slowly. I actually had enough time to go ahead and make 4 more water purifiers here, and then 8 more ambient water collectors just to keep up with this. And you can see it takes 8,000 millibuckets and 8 purified coal blocks to make a single diamond. That is not an especially great ratio, but at least we have diamonds now, so we're going to take that. And it doesn't look like we have a faster way of getting them. So this setup here is going to require some significant upgrades to be able to keep up. I think we're just going to continue to have to make massive amounts of purified water here. So this is probably the thing that I'm going to need the most of. It looks like the water purifier does have an upgrade slot, but honestly, I haven't figured out what goes in here yet, so I'm not going to worry about that. But it looks like I'm getting enough extra water in here that I can build at least 2, 3, maybe even 4 more water purifiers on this whole stack. But the important part, we finally have our first diamond. Now let's double back here. It looks like we now have all of the glowstone that we need to make our block of glowstone. So let's go ahead and grab that up to complete that quest. There we go. And then it looks like we will be moving on to the osmium compressor and some diamond plates. So the osmium compressor, it looks like we are going to need to use 2 blocks of glowstone along with our advanced control circuits and infused alloy to make this. So the diamond plate is actually just able to be put into a press. So let's go throw our diamond in on the way, and we will make the one that we need to complete the quest. But it looks like we are going to actually need to make diamond plates for our Elite Technium machine, so we are going to want to set up a plate press over here as well. Alright, we've made some optimizations here, and we have our glowstone dust going into that drawer. Now we are ready to do something with our diamond. I set up this metal press frame. All I have to do is whack the middle, and we have a metal press. We're going to throw our plate mold into this, and now we can make diamond plates. Now, I'm a little worried about automating diamond plates at this particular juncture because we are not making that much diamond. We're only making a little diamond. So I'm going to wire this up, but I'm not going to actually turn it on yet because I am worried about that. let's go ahead and put a storage drawer here. That's going to contain our diamond plates. And then we're going to use our logistical transporter to pull off of there. I'm going to go into the storage drawer that we have above here. Now, the storage drawers we do need to keep separate, otherwise we will get weird backups and whatnot. We've had problems with this in the past when we've set things up. So we're just going to do something a little like this, and then we're going to use our configurator to split these pipes so that they're not connected, just like that. Okay, so this can pull out of here. We are just going to configure that to pull from right there, and then that's going to go into that drawer. This drawer, meanwhile, we're going to go over a little bit here so that it doesn't quite run into all of this mess, just like this. And we're going to come one block over from where this input that I put on here, the extracting conveyor belt, is going to go, just like that. And now we just need to configure this to not interact with this other pipe. So now that that's all done, we should start getting our diamonds going into this drawer momentarily. So as soon as we have diamonds to speak of, at least, that's where those should go into here. We do need to configure this to pull. We've already done that. So we're just literally waiting for purifying water right now, which again, now I've put 8 of these up and it is still a bottleneck for us. So we'll have to figure out something here. There's another way to get purifying water using mulch. I'm not eager to set that up, but we might have to just to be able to keep up. All right, so this is going. We should have diamonds momentarily. Now, let's go ahead and make up our diamond plates. Diamond plates are needed for Elite Technium, but like I said, I'm not going to automate this just yet because it's very expensive to do so. So let's throw this down here. We are just going to get our plates. Oh, but the one thing we are missing, as always, is power. And I need to make us some more power cables real quick. Let me do that. And there we go. We've got some power cables running through there now, and we are getting our plates into here. Wonderful. Let's go ahead and lock these up real fast. There we go. And now we have access to diamond plates and regular diamonds. Perfect. All right. So with that all taken care of, let's grab up one diamond plate, get credit for the quest, put it back in there, and then we can go back and work on the osmium compressor. All right, so let's get this knocked out. We will go ahead and make up our frame as always, and then we will go ahead and add all of these other components, the infused alloy, the glowstone, and the advanced control circuits. Oh, we are missing one piece of glowstone. So let's make another one of those. We only made the one to complete the quest, and now we have the osmium compressor. Perfect. All right. So with that, we can use the glowstone dust that we are producing to make our refined glowstone ingots. Easy enough for us. Literally, we just need to give it a source of osmium, and the glowstone dust will then add to that, and we make refined glowstone. Similarly, we need to make refined obsidian, and surprise, surprise, basically the same recipe here, only it's a 2-step process to refine. We need to make refined dust, first of all, which we make, of course, with our diamond, in this case, and our osmium, or excuse me, and our obsidian dust. That gives us refined obsidian dust. The refined obsidian dust then we use in our osmium compressor with osmium to actually make the ingot itself. So that's the multi-stage process here that we're going to need to set up. All right, let's get this sorted out. So I've cleared out this end where we had our temporary machines set up as we were going through them, and I'm going to put our osmium compressor down here. Now, our main bus line has already been extended all the way down here, and for those of you who are just joining us, the only reason we can do this is because I screwed up the pack when we first started playing and was playing an outdated version. These are the modern dynamics pipes, and as a result, these can be created early on, but they got replaced with the mechanism pipes in the base pack. So I can make these attractors, or I made a bunch of the attractors, I should say, before I upgraded the pack, and I've been pulling them off of machines and reusing them whenever I can. But you can see here that the recipe requires these teleportation cores, which we do not get for a hot second. So we will have access to those actually in the relatively near future, but we're not there yet. So I'm just using the few that I have remaining, about a stack of those, for everything that we're doing in the meantime. Now, let's pop this off of here first. Again, they're a little fidgety because we have to configure it before we actually turn everything on. And this osmium compressor, we need to pull in 2 different ingredients. So we do need to make sure that we have configured a connector on both the top and the side, just like this. And that means we need to use a second of our precious remaining attractors to go in there. If I can actually use this properly. There we go. Okay. So in this case, we're going to configure it pretty much the same way we did the other one. Clear it all out. Now on the right side, we are going to get our input, and on the top, that is where we are going to put our extra item. And in this case, The extra is going to be the osmium. So osmium needs to go here. Let's put osmium ingots in that slot. We're going to whitelist that. And then in this case here, this one is going to be our glowstone. So let's get our glowstone dust and put it right in this slot like that. Now, because there's already power in the bottom, all we have to do is connect this up and this will magically start working. We do want to break this connection there. Whoops, that's not how you break that connection. Put this back, break the connection by right-clicking without shifting. There we go. And this will start pulling our glowstone from the drawer all the way down there. Should show up in a second. And our osmium is already going into the bottom slot here. There we go. Now our osmium's coming in, and now we just wait for the glowstone. And there we go. Now it's doing something. There is our refined glowstone ingot. Delightful. Okay. All right, so for our refined obsidian, we first need to make obsidian blocks. Now, we are making molten obsidian for using in making our advanced technium, but we never actually bothered to connect this up so that we could turn it into obsidian blocks. Obsidian blocks are made in a solidifier. So what we're going to do is go ahead and pump this from underneath here where we've got our pipes running already, and then we are going to connect that up through the floor here into our solidifier, which is going to run along the bottom. So that's running right down there. I think I'm just going to go ahead and stick it right here on this edge, like so. And that means we grab up our mechanical pipes here, and we just sneak these around right down here. There we go. And so that will come up and into our solidifier right there. That's getting molten obsidian. And we're going to give this the block mold from casting, and that should start turning into obsidian blocks. Let's go ahead and replace our flooring real quick, just to hide that all away, and we can add more of these solidifiers if we need. Now, I also made up a few more ambient water collectors. These were used in the cooling process I'm about to set up right now previously for my copper production, but that's the ones that we used in the previous build for the purifying water, so unfortunately, I had to make up a few more of those. But we can just plonk these down right here. We don't actually need that last block there. Grab our configurator, and start pulling these in to provide cooling for this machine, our solidifier. So very quickly, this is now going to turn into obsidian blocks. And then all we have to do is pipe that out into a drawer, which we're going to put right up here. So let's just break these down like that. We're going to take one of our drawers here. We're going to stick this on here like so. And then we just go back to our logistics pipes, logistical transporters, and throw these on this spot. So right here, break that connection again. Let's grab up the other configurator to break that, just like so. We don't want that to connect. And then like that. That should then, as soon as we set this to pull, start inserting into there. And we can, of course, lock that as well. Let's grab this. There. Okay, so this should be going pretty quickly here. Oh, you know what this is missing? Some of you know what this is missing. I need to rearrange this a little bit because I'm supposed to put a tank right here. So let me do that real fast. We'll just shift everything around a little bit. Right, there we go. Went and made ourselves a fuel tank. That's going to go in here now. And now the solidifier is going very, very rapidly. Let's go ahead and make sure that's pulling. Perfect. Okay, so that is going to be how we are going to get our obsidian extremely fast. There we go. Plenty of obsidian. Okay, great. Now we can go ahead and start the process of refining it. All right, so refined obsidian, it's a several step process. First off, we take our crusher and we throw this down. This is going to get us our initial obsidian dust. Once again, we use our tractor on top, just like so. This is going to get blocks of obsidian for us. And then we select that, just like that, and that'll start pulling those in to collect. Very shortly, we'll have that. Next up, we are going to set up an enrichment chamber. The enrichment chamber is going to be used to take our diamond and turn our diamond into enriched diamond. I believe that recipe is still in the pack here. Let me just put the power cable down here and just double check that we do indeed have enriched diamond here. Yes, we do. That's going to give us a 10-to-1, or at least I think it's a 4-to-1 ratio, if I remember correctly, on our investment here. So this is our enrichment chamber here that we're going to use for that. Now, I am not going to set this up quite yet to automate pulling that in here. So let's go ahead and put this block down. We're going to tell it that we want to pull in diamond. So give it diamond right here, diamond. But since we're not producing diamond at a high enough rate yet, I'm going to feed this manually for now. But at least when we are eventually ready to automate that, we can. All right, so that's going to set up like that. Let's go grab up a couple of diamonds real fast. Let's say 8 for now. I think that's a good place to start. We're going to put this back over here into our enrichment chamber. There we go. And then that's going to give us enriched diamond out. So out of our crusher here now, we can take that obsidian dust and combine it with our diamond dust and put that into a metallurgic infuser. We just need to connect our power cable up right here. Metallurgic infuser will go here. And then we need to configure this, of course, to be able to pull in from the left side our extra input. There we go. And from the front, it's going to take our primary input. There we go. All right, so now what we have to do is configure the logistical transporter to go in here and this one to go in here. All right, and that is already happening. We are now getting stuff into our metallurgic infuser. Now, the metallurgic infuser needs one more thing for our refined obsidian dust to be able to be turned into something, and that is our osmium compressor, the same way we have it on the other side. So let's go ahead and pull one block off here, add another power cable down here, and now we can put our osmium compressor right on the back of this, and we can wire this up as well here. All that we're missing here, why isn't this exporting from the back? We need to tell it to output, and eject is now on. Great, osmium compressor is coming in here. This needs a secondary ingredient though as well, and so to that end, we will once again use our osmium pipes coming right over here. This is how we're going to get that in there. But again, we do want to configure this. Do not connect up here, please. And do not connect up here, please. And there, that should then work for us. We're going to break this one momentarily. Again, to configure this to only bring in our osmium ingots. Osmium ingots, just like this. Whitelist it and connect it. Perfect. All right. And that's then going to give us our refined osmium. Now let's clear all this out. We're going to input our extra ingredients from the top, just like so. Our primary ingredient goes from the bottom, just like so. And then our output we are going to do from the left side, just for ease of use here. Great. All right. So now we all have to wait for our refined obsidian. We're going to wait for the osmium to start showing up. It's coming right now. And then that's going to need to go into a storage drawer, which I think I'm going to do up and over so it ends up right about here. All right, and there is our refined osmium ingot to go along with a refined glowstone ingot. So we have both of those. Now the only thing left to do here is to alloy those together in an alloy kiln. So let's go ahead and set up another alloy kiln right over here next to our other alloy kilns. All right, built the alloy kiln real quick here. Again, I don't love the fact that it goes an extra line on either side compared to our miners, but whatever, we're going to live with that. It's a lot of bricks to make, and that took me a little while. Now all we have to do is connect it up, however, and that's going to be easy enough for us. We are going to bring our input pipe along the side here like so. Lesson learned, I moved this back an extra square from the edge so that I have more room to play with here. And we're just going to tell this that we want to attract both our refined obsidian and our refined glowstone ingots just like that. We're going to whitelist those in there. And then I've already connected those up to our main bus here, and that will start pulling in as soon as we hit it here. Now we do have power cables running in from underground, so that's how this is going to connect for us. And then the only thing left to do here is to use our logistical transporters once again to pull the items out when they are done. So disconnect this one just like that, pull this down from this block here, and then set it to pull. And soon enough, we should get our various ingredients going in here. You can see those are already coming in from all the way down there. And that will allow us to start alloying momentarily. Let's drop these in here just to get it started. And there we go. Those ingots are coming in. You can see them popping up there. Let's grab our key. Let's make sure we lock that drawer. And then at long last, we have our Obsidiglow Ingot. And that means we have completed the pure chapter. Well, y'all, that took a little extra time, but I think it was worth it. We've got everything automated and ready to go. In between episodes, I'm going to try and increase the speed of production of our diamond as significantly as I can, because that is the biggest bottleneck we have right now. If I can get that at least 4 or 5 times faster than we have right now, we'll be sitting pretty. But all that's going to have to wait until next time. For now, thanks again for watching Enterprise Architecture. We'll see you back here then. Bye, friends!